Hello, Ms. McBride. This is Bob Taylor from New York, responding to your video blog post on disciplinary actions and competence. First of all, let me say you have a wonderful, relaxing speaking voice, and it's just going to lend to your future success as a counselor. I personally participate in dialectic behavior therapy. It's a group thing where with mindfulness, and your voice just lends itself to success in that kind of treatment. So I encourage you to look into that. It might hurt my grade, but I'm going to ask the same questions to you that I asked to Nicole Jenkins in Texas, who you also responded to. First of all, in New York, this year I only found 2 violations for licensed mental health counselors in the state about formal disciplinary actions by the State Education Board of Regents, the body that governs professional conduct for licensed professionals in New York. And the other part of that was you frequently mentioned self-care in your post, but didn't really mention any specific measures. So I had mentioned dialectic behavior therapy is as a treatment that lends itself to not becoming impaired. It addresses cognitive behavior, emotional regulation, and just self-awareness. Other things, being diabetic, which I also shared with Nicole, is a physical impairment that affects my ability to communicate periodically. You're tired. It can cause irritability. So to address that, I've adopted a healthier lifestyle, better eating habits, and I ferociously exercise regularly. But the biggest thing that's worked for me is involvement in my church community. I'm an avid participant in missionary activities through my men's group with veterans, and also just prayerful exercises and Bible study as a meditative technique have made a profound influence on my life. The other thing I mentioned to Nicole that I'll mention to you too about my church community is that staggers me that there were only 2 violations in the whole state. Is there are 6 licensed mental health counselors just in my congregation. So I'm thinking, if you extrapolate that to how many licensed mental health counselors, the thousands of them are in the state of New York, that there were only 2 violations this year, it just speaks to the quality of the COUC standards on our ethics training. So once again, I appreciate your presentation and your insight, and I hope moving forward that you take into consideration specific self-care techniques. Appreciate you. Have a nice evening.